Okay, so now in this video, we're going to look at how to identify potential products to sell. And we said that the way that we're going to do that is by going into the Amazon bestseller list to identify products that meet our specific criteria. In the previous video, we talked about what that criteria was, where I gave you some suggestions as to what you can use for criteria for yourself. So to begin, the first thing I generally do is I will open up an Excel spreadsheet. And then once I have it open, I just keep it ready so that I can go ahead and copy and paste different names and information for the different products that I'm considering. And again, we're going to be looking at different categories. We're not going to do every category through this video. But we're just going to look at a few different really great categories where you can find some products that fit our specific criteria. So the first thing I'll do, I'll go into Google and I'll write Amazon bestseller lists or bestsellers. That usually comes up. And then see what I come up with. This is the actual URL for the bestsellers, that it ends in ZGBS. So I'll go ahead and click there, and then it'll bring me to the Amazon bestseller page. Now this is where it tells you all the bestsellers from 1 to 100 for all the different categories. And you can find, which we're going to look at in a second, all the subcategories as well. On the left-hand side, it tells you all the different departments and their specifically the bestsellers in each one of those departments. So just to give you an idea of what they are, we have appliances, app stores, arts and crafts, all the way to home improvement, all the way to watches down at the bottom. And these are some of the major categories that they show for the bestsellers in Amazon. So of course they give you a little quick synopsis of the major ones. This is for toys and games, electronics, camera and photo, video games, etc. So I'll just let you know from the get-go things that I generally avoid because, again, like I said before, my criteria is I want to make it as simple as possible for me to sell the best products that I can, source the products, and then make sure that we get very little returns because we have very satisfied customers. So generally, I will avoid things like apps of course, baby, I'll even avoid beauty because unfortunately in my mind I see some liability there, so I'll generally avoid it. Now I may look into it because sometimes there's some accessories that might make some great products, but I generally avoid it. Books, of course, I avoid because remember, we're trying to find as generic products that we can later brand with our own brand, make some minor changes or adjustments to it, and then sell it as our own product. Cell phones I definitely avoid, clothing I avoid, computers and accessories I generally avoid, electronics I avoid. So I'm going to show you specifically which ones I try to target myself. And don't worry, there are hundreds, even thousands of products that you can find to sell even if you only utilize 2 or 3 categories in this process. So the first one I'm going to go into is going to be camera and photo. That tends to be really a really great place to go. Why? Because cameras generally have a lot of accessories, and accessories tend to also make for great products. Why? Because they're generic and you can brand them the way you want to. The other part about camera and photo that I appreciate is, like I mentioned before, they have a big following. Like, in other words, that they are a hobby that people tend to make a lot of emotional decisions, buying decisions for. So I like it because I can charge a lot of big prices, high prices, so that I can later on people won't have a problem going ahead and paying those prices because they're emotionally invested in the particular hobby. So here we got some a couple bestsellers, top bestsellers. Again, these are sort of electronics, so I like to avoid those. These cases right here are pretty good, like the Case Logic case or this one. This one's priced below my my threshold. I usually my threshold is $20 to $200, so I'll generally avoid those. Case Logic. This Case Logic bag right here is pretty nice. Now, granted, it's going to be difficult to find a Case Logic bag that I can sort of turn into what I want, but I can find a similar generic-looking bag. Maybe it looks a slight bit different, and then add my logo to it. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the Case Logic bag, put that in Excel. And I usually label it here for the category, which is camera and photo. Now again, you can find your own way of doing this. This is just for me the simplest, quickest way I can do it. And then I'll put that as an option. Oh, sorry. Let me just go ahead and do that as a text. And then I'll also put the price as well because I want to get an idea of what kind of prices I can charge. So let's go back to here, and then I'll see 2046 is sort of the best price. Now granted, they say they have 68 new from $8.99, which is fine. I'm more interested which ones are the best sellers and people are willing to pay because they already are paying this amount. So I'll go ahead and go to here. It says 2046 is the price. That means that people have happily paid that because it's a bestseller. All right, so let's go check out on another one. Let's go back and all right, so let's go down the list. We see some good things here. This collapsible sort of oh, and one other thing I didn't mention before, the ratings. See where it's got 2,000 ratings? I don't have a problem with them having a substantial amount of ratings. Now, granted, there is the challenge that the more ratings they have, because you imagine it's 10% of people in Amazon um, actually review these things, so that you're looking at a substantial amount of people buying them. That means you may have a lot more competition. I don't mind the competition, especially if I come up with a great product. So I don't mind there being a lot of reviews. Sometimes you can stick to reviews anywhere from under 1,000. Some people suggest doing under 1,000. I don't mind doing up to like 2,000 or 3,000. So this I wouldn't mind actually going with, but it's up to you. It's safer to play at any for reviews under 1,000, like this one's 869. But again, it's up to you. So this newer collapsible multi-disc light reflector. This right here, it's I like it because it's big and it's flexible. In other words, I can bend it and I can package it and it won't be very heavy. Actually, I want to check to see if I can bend it because it looks like I might not be able to. So let's look at that. Let's look at a little bit more information on it. It's about 2 pounds, so it's within my range. So I'll copy that for now because it looks like I can bend it, that it's flexible and can be easily packaged. The only issue I would probably have with this is if you can't bend it, it's going to be harder to find a box to fit this. So of course that kind of adds into your shipping expense. So let's just copy that because that one could be pretty good. Can you imagine this product with your logo, your name, and things right on the front? That's what we're talking about. All right, so let's go ahead and copy that, and let's put that into our list. Okay, let's put that here. And again, we're just sort of like doing an initial pass for all these categories. I'm sorry, all these products. Okay, so again, these are electronics. Nice bag. I might do the bag. There's so many bags. I personally, I might as well just copy it. This is an Amazon Basics bag, but it's a camera bag. I'm sure you can create your own camera bag with your own brand on it. Let's just put it down for now. All right. Okay, so let's continue going on. Next page. Great. If you have the opportunity, there's some extensions that actually scroll down for you, so you don't have to go page by page. For some reason, mine is not on right now, but normally all I have to do is go down. It'll show me all the ones that I need without having to go to page to page. Saves me time. But if not, go to the next page. And muslin clamps. The price is just below my threshold. This right here, the Smatry case for the GoPro camera. Excellent choice because look at this little thing. It costs almost $30, and it's really nice. So imagine instead of it saying Smatry, it'll say your brand or your logo. So this is really good. So we can see if we can source that one too. So let's get the Smatry for the GoPro. It's a lot of words, but let's copy it anyway. Let's put it right here. All right, so let's just do something to make this easier for us. All right, and wrap text. There we go. And I forgot the Amazon Basics pack. I remember it being 17, which is a little bit under my threshold, but I'll put it down anyway. Got to get back to the light reflector. Forgot what that was. Let's see. This is $27.99. Okay, let's put that down. So I'll go back and just get the price for the reflector later. Okay, so let's continue on. And again, the reason I'm going for best-selling ones is because, hey, if I have a competing GoPro case that might look nicer than this one's in red, I might have mine another color. Or this one is a certain style, I might add a couple little accoutrements or extras that make it even better. Or I might put the package that might motivate people to buy mine instead of theirs. But again, I'm creating my own product, just utilizing their ideas. And just to give an idea, this one's got 5 stars. Bazia's got 4 stars. I would go into 4 stars and find out, okay, what things do they feel like are missing? Do they feel like it's missing a shoulder strap, or it's missing these other things? And then I would add those things and make sure I highlight them so people will see the difference. All right, so let's keep going. These are all electronics. This Photography studio is great, but it's too bulky. It's too hard to ship. Here's another smaller GoPro case. That one's $13.99. I'll probably avoid it because it's a lower priced item. I mean, granted, if I was getting these for like 50 cents each, I'd do it. But I'll avoid it for now. Okay, so let's continue here. And let's see what we have. All right, we have a camera case. That's it's not that expensive. These are all sort of minor either cameras or camera cases we can actually probably use. Let's go with that one. That's a nice Case Logic camera case. Okay, let's copy that. And let's put that here. Oh, sorry about that. Let's go. Sorry. I'd rather do it in text. Okay. All right, and what's the price on that? Let's look. That's $23.18. All right, let's put $23.18. All right, and let's keep going. So as you see, we're just going through different products that we potentially can utilize as products that we can sort of brand ourselves. Again, we're going to source these products in different places, and once we find some that are high quality and that look good, again with aesthetics, are durable, then we can have the manufacturer actually put our logo on it, so it'll be our Zoom holster for our particular brand. There's another one here. There's two. Again, it's under our threshold, and let's keep going. After this, I'm going to go into subcategories, so I can show you how to be able to find even better some other niches in the subcategories as well. You know, this is interesting. A neck strap that costs almost 20 bucks. Now that's awesome because, you know, think about it. How much is it going to cost to make a neck strap? Not that much. But then you could charge almost $20 for it. See, this one says $17.92. I can charge $25 for it, and people may buy it only because of the branding that I put on it to make it even more appealing to people. So let me go ahead and copy that one, and it's $17.92. Okay, let's put that here and put $17.92. All right. And as a matter of fact, I'm actually going to jump into other categories here. Let me just do one more sweep for the last 100. This is actually pretty good too. A battery charger. Now, granted, I generally stay away from electronics, but you might want, if you're into electronics, this will be interesting because it's a battery charger. No one's got a corner of the market in the battery charging industry, but you can put your name on it and add some nice packaging to it, maybe add some extra benefits that people don't have, and then all of a sudden you have a product. All right, so that's probably about it. Okay, great. So that kind of, we got a couple products for ourselves. Now I'm going to go to a different department. Another department that I really like a lot too is home and kitchen. Why? Because there's, again, another sort of following when it comes to like cooking and baking. So what I want to do is I actually want to go into some subcategories here. So kitchen and dining is a subcategory of home and kitchen. And then I'm probably going to go even one step further. This is just a good idea of what kitchen and dining looks like, the general bestseller lists or the bigger categories. This is so you see some of the things that people are really interested in. You know, again, I stay away from any type of these products here, consumables, or why? Because I mean, it's good, but they're super cheap. I mean, and plus, finding the higher quality than Bounty towels, you're probably not going to find in another country. It's going to be difficult, and they corner the market on it. So let's keep going. Let's just take a quick pass of a subcategory, see if we find something that fits what we're looking for. Nothing yet. Even though these could actually be great, but I'm not. Again, it's below my threshold. I'll avoid those. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see if we can find something that we like. And again, just because these are the prices doesn't mean that you can't charge higher and still make money. But when it's a huge difference from, you know, it's $4 or $5 and I'm trying to sell it for 20, you know, you get a little bit of a challenge there sometimes. Challenges that I like to face, by the way. Okay, so I haven't really seen anything yet, so I might actually dip into a subcategory. You know, you can do a little Brita water pitcher, but Brita kind of, you know, cornered the market on that one. So let's see. Now these are all consumables. So I'll try to go one step further. You know, it's interesting about mixing bowls. I can get a mixing bowls and charge a whole lot more. Maybe give it a nice little additional, you know, accessories to this, but they're so heavy or they're fragile. I'll stay away from them. Why? Because I don't want any problems with that. All right, let's go one more step here. So we find anything. These are good, but again, they're heavy, so I'll stay away from them because they're made out of metal. Of course, these are excellent right here. Ice ball makers are phenomenal. Now, granted, these are for $13.97. Rocks has a good. Look at these product pictures. I mean, amazing. Look at these things. Gorgeous. You know, they actually did these themselves. You can see that they're photoshopped too. Incredibly gorgeous. But these are a great product. I mean, again, the $13.97, so that's beyond my threshold, but it might not be yours. You know, actually, you can sell great products for between $10 and $20. I mean, you really can. And like these right here would actually be a great product to sell if that was your buying threshold. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see what else we can find. Flavorizer bars. What are these? What in the world? Oh, okay. These are metal, so I guess I'd stay away from those. Okay, so it doesn't seem like there's really anything in this category.